The first session that I run is called Who We Work With and Why, and the purpose of this session is to assist participants to think about who they work with and why they choose to work with those people. There's a particular difference these days between the generic work and targeted work, and people need to think about that because it's a changing picture of CLD, is that work's becoming more targeted, and we used to be able to work generically. So I think it's important that people think about who they work with and why those people are the people they work with. I ask people to think about on their own who it is they work with and why, and then discuss this in small groups. The reason being that I want them to think about who it is and they work with, what makes them choose those people, how they prioritize, and I want them to think about what makes people vulnerable or disadvantaged. The group task was to discuss who they work with and why, and to think about the standards for community engagement, which are national standards, and to think about whether that relates to how they engage with people they work with.
I could be working with young families where kids are maybe 3 years old. Sometimes I find myself in a room with people from any age group between 3 and 83, sort of thing. I think that it's about hearing those sorts of different perspectives and not necessarily getting into the silo of just sort of one age. So I think it's that whole thing about a wider, that wider community, trying to see and hear the voices that are out there.
If you take away welfare reform, community work has always targeted the same people. It's just there's things that happen, or new initiatives that come through, or new government policies that come in that affect people and make the poverty more stark.
I think the session will be beneficial to people who attended, because they'll be thinking about why it is they work with the people they do, whether these are the best people to be working with, what choices they're making, and what the values are they have that underpin the choice about who it is they work with. After the event, there's another session which is going to be run, and this session is going to look in more detail at values, and it will enable people to think about who they work with, why they work with them, who they're including, and who's being excluded.